Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
And it is at Café Anyway where we are in Podcaster Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Podcaster Valleyton. Okay, it's Mike's Daily Podcast and I try to make it daily, but it seems to me that lately I am failing because there's a lot of stuff that's been popping up this week. I've undertaken quite a few things that are a bit too extreme for me. So let's see if I can
Mike's Daily Podcast.
get back into the rhythm of things this week. But it was all worth it. We first
Mike's
celebrated
Daily
my lovely lady friend's
Podcast.
birthday.
Yeah!
Then I had decided out of kindness, out of a sense of community and camaraderie, to help my boss to watch his dog and cat, to feed them while they were gone for 3 days. And we ended up really having a great time with the dog and cat. We walked the dog and petted the cat. And we were the best pet, what do you call them? Sitters? I guess we were pet sitters. So that's what we did, that along with her birthday. Then the cleaners came in. But before the cleaners come in to the house, you got to make sure to take all those things down off the windowsills. Maybe you've amassed some things. Oh, I found this really cool looking porcupine. Not a porcupine. I've not as of yet made a pet out of a porcupine yet. That could be a bit disastrous. What's those things? The things that are in the forest that you walk along and you step on and it hurts. And they're big and they're bulbous. Those things. So that and other things, shells and whatnot, stuff we found, had amassed.
And here's today's podcast picture.
On all of the windowsills. And the podcast picture is of myself on one of the days. So we cleaned up the house for my cousin and her boyfriend. They visited, and I have not seen my cousin in person. I've seen her on Zoom and that Google Hangouts, whatever that was called. That was the late great Basil the Boxer knew my cousin, who you hear at the beginning of the podcast too. She is now, and this is the first podcast that debuted her new intro, because while she was here, I recorded her updating the old one. Occasionally you will hear the old way she used to say it, but now this is a version 12 years later that she updated for me. Thank you, Anki. So we had that and the podcast picture. Oh, Mike is remembering things and it jolts him into
Everybody make some noise! Woo! Bringing to you live from Podcaster Valleymont, Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I did not know while we were there that we could have kept driving and gone down to the Marin Headlands, and seen even more incredible views, because it was such a beautiful, clear day. This was on Thursday. But you can see that picture, the beautiful shot of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and you can see Alcatraz and Treasure Island and all the rest behind me there at mikesdailypodcast.com.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
The house is now so clean, it's like staying at an Airbnb. It's wonderful. So, but there's a bunch of stuff downstairs that's in this room that we had taken from all the different things upstairs. So walking around downstairs is a mess.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
Will be somehow cleaned up and thrown out, and we'll eventually clean up stuff and Woo! I'm worn out. The coffee ain't working anymore. You know who's still working? It's Nikki Haley. She has vowed to fight on in the Republican primary race despite a humiliating loss to Donald Trump in her home state of South Carolina. That from The Telegraph.
The Newsbleed section.
Mr. Trump routed Ms. Haley, the state's former governor, by more than 20 points in Saturday's vote.
Awesome.
Extending his early lead in Iowa and New Hampshire. With 99% of the vote counted, Ms. Haley has won only 3 of the 50 available delegates.
Ain't life grand?
So, everyone's sure that he will secure the GOP nomination. However, if you look at the math behind a lot of these elections that we've had so far, the amount of people that voted for Haley, the amount of people that did not come out and vote for Trump that they were supposed to,
News random.
it's still not looking good for Trump in many ways. But it looks good for him here, that he had 5 straight wins. So, we'll see. It's an interesting thing you hear back and forth with all the news.
The Myclopedia Insanity.
Let's see, Tim Scott, a potential running mate on Mr. Trump's ticket, was lauded by Trump, the Republican frontrunner, as a dynamo and unbelievable.
Ridiculous random hosts.
So maybe he'll be the vice president. We'll see. A lot of people are telling him he needs to get a female on the ticket. And this also, did you know, and I don't know how this works, but I am not a big fan of ads when I'm watching something. It's a part of life. Ads exist. They keep these big media companies in business. But most viewers don't mind ads, apparently, on streaming platforms. More and more people are willing to put up with them, at least if they are streaming. 13% of consumers are opposed to ad tiers on streaming platforms. 13%. That is compared to last year, where 36% were opposed. This whole having ads in exchange for discounted streaming, but now only 13%. Amazon's Prime Video's ad-supported tier will automatically reach about 115 million monthly active viewers as we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. Pinecone! Gosh!
All right, let's go.
That was bugging me.
Fair and unbalanced.
How on earth can I not remember Pinecone?
Matthew's News.
So let's see. They got 115 million monthly active viewers. The streamer has told advertisers, unless viewers opt to shell out an additional $3 a month to watch ad-free. The Netflix has an tier.
We're partying with Mike Matthews.
And it has now 23 million monthly active viewers. Disney last reported that 5.2 million customers were watching the ad-supported tier of Disney+. 5.2. 88% of adults surveyed have at least one streaming subscription. So we are all watching streaming, basically. I mean, come on. Almost 90%. Ooh, big beautiful bird just flew past me just now. Very, very distracting. He did not have a pine cone in his mouth, but he was a big bird.
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
Last year, U.S. audiences streamed about 21 million years worth of video, and that was up from 21% from the previous year. Yikes.
MTV News. You hear it first.
All that information came from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, The Rob Black Show. He also found this little interesting tidbit. I've been with my lovely lady friend for about 6 years, and we have not used dating apps since before we met each other, but Tinder is going to require video selfies to verify user IDs. Nearly 70,000 individuals disclosed falling victim to a romance scam. This was in 2022, with recorded financial losses reaching $1.3 billion. How does that work?
Mike ripped someone a new one.
Oh, they're so cute. They're so nice to me, and we text back and forth.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
And we still haven't done a video call, but I see their picture and they're really hot. And so, oh wait, they need some money because, oh my gosh, would you believe it? Their car broke down. All right, I'll send them some money. 19% of the scams started on dating apps, including OkCupid, Hinge. I never heard of Hinge. Tinder.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
Plenty of Fish. Oh, and all of those I just mentioned are owned by Match Group. Wasn't there Match.com? Tinder plans to expand its ID verification requirement, including asking users to submit a video selfie. They will also require users to submit a valid driver's license or passport in order to obtain a blue verification check mark. It has to be blue, and it has to be a check mark, because X does the same thing. Tinder will check to make sure the birth date and the face on the video match the profile pictures and the ID. Trials have shown that newly verified users got 67% more matches than those who opted out, because people, they're wise to what's going on.
Well, I like it.
The whiny white man whine.
Shame on you, fooled me twice, shame on me. ID verification is not a simple fix. Sharing sensitive personal information raises privacy concerns. Users would have to worry about data breaches, misuse, and even government surveillance.
Right? Good.
In 2021, Match has partnered with a background checking platform to provide a paid service that could tell you if your match has been arrested, convictions, restraining orders, harassment, other violent crimes. Wow, it's like E-Verify.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
In the dating world, I met my lovely lady friend just as I was walking the late great Basil the Boxer. We started talking, and it has worked out great. I am blessed. Hey, there's 4 new Beatles movies on the way, planned by Sony Pictures, the same people that like to do Spider-Man movies that aren't really Spider-Man movies. They're in one of the Spider-Man universes. I heard Madame Web didn't do that well, and that people find it laughable. But they're planning on a couple other Spider-Man spin-offs, spinners. That's what they call the spider in Germany. It's a spinner, because they spin a web. And if you're weird, another word for a weird person is a spinner. Like a, what do you call it? A goof. I want to say goofball. Weirdo. I guess we just call them weirdos here. Let's see. So the 4 new Beatles movies that Sony Pictures is going to do, one from the perspective of each band member, is going to be done by the director Sam Mendes, who directed Skyfall, the James Bond movie. And Amazon, we were hearing all about their Amazon Prime and how many people watch, even though they're showing ads. Amazon has quietly built up a $14.7 billion quarterly ad business. Digital advertisement is big business. YouTube sells $9.2 billion in advertisements so they're at 9.2, whereas Amazon is 14.7. Both billions, in the billions. But those are the 2 biggest. But Amazon is pretty much, quite a bit bigger than YouTube. And you would think with all the YouTube ads that you're forced to watch, that would not be so. Line cutting businesses are surging.
Yo, the mic tip.
Clear membership lets people forego airport security lines, but you have to pay $190 a year. They now have 19 million members. Back to Tinder. Tinder charges users $500 a month to skip the virtual queue and have their dating profile prioritized. Ski resorts, they offer fast track passes for ski lifts at an extra cost. And of course, amusement parks. They seem to be the ones that started it. Universal Studios and the Disney parks, they have express passes for skipping lines in the theme park starting at $110, in addition to the admission that you pay when you go in. So let's see. I think we will now say hi to some people outside of Café Anyway. I am just not with it today, everybody. I am not firing on all cylinders. Let's say 4 cylinders. Used to have a 8-cylinder, but now it's just 4. Oh. And drinking this coffee ain't helping, folks. Look who's here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? I brought my horse there.
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
I find all that stuff fascinating that you're talking about. It has lulled me into a sense of intelligence.
Interesting. Okay. I'm glad to help.
When y'all were up there looking at San Francisco, were you glad that you were still far away from San Francisco and that you were not in it?
Well, that's funny because the next day we went into it. We were in San Francisco, primarily in the more touristy areas, along the Embarcadero, the ferry building, Pier 39, Fisherman's Wharf, all that. And it was fun. We went into Little Italy and the Chinatown. And next time I go back there, I'll take my lovely lady friend. And there definitely is a couple restaurants I'd like to go to in Little Italy. But yes, there were homeless. I'll tell you something, though. What I saw was nothing like what I see in Oakland, what I see in Fremont, what I see in Podcaster Valley, quite frankly. It's been getting worse lately. Hayward is the worst, though. Oh, my gosh. And maybe it's because I drive on Mission every day, but I see so much homelessness and the shopping carts. Oh, boy. Hey, Jon Stewart is back. And it's interesting because this is his second show that was out last Monday, and he acknowledged all of the comments that were made about him, and when he poked fun at Joe Biden, and they called it like both sidesism or some ridiculousness, like you can't have an opinion. And he said, Jon Stewart said, okay, I'm sorry, I have a brain and I have eyes and I observe things and I see things and I talk about what I see and what I'm not supposed to say what I see. And then he said, okay, well, I guess I need to take advice from Tucker Carlson. And then he's showing the Tucker Carlson Putin interview. And not so much the interview as, and some of the ridiculousness that Putin was basically applauding what Hitler did, but the whole what goes on in Russia, and Tucker's basically, gosh, he might as well be Edward Snowden. Was it Edward Snowden? And move to and live in Russia and just stay there because he really, really likes it. He's going through the subway and showing. There was this one part of the subway that was really nice looking, okay? And he's saying, oh, we don't have this in America. I am sure there's some Grand Central Station or some bit of public transportation somewhere in the U.S. that is nicely done, that's been updated. But yeah, a lot of those public transportation places, they get a little run down and ragged, and the graffiti starts to accumulate. But there's some really nice ones. I will say, riding BART into the city, and I don't ride BART as much as I do anymore. Maybe once a month. I used to ride it 5 times a week, twice a day, and I got really sick of it. And this was before they started introducing the new cars. And now it seems like I never get on any of the old cars anymore. I'm always on a new car. And they're staying in pretty good shape, the ones that I was on. I was on just 2 trains on Friday. But it wasn't that bad. I'm saying that the media, the way they look at us, especially the right-leaning media, when they look at the Bay Area, when they look at San Francisco, they really tear apart San Francisco. And when I park, as you notice, I said I took Bart into San Francisco. I would not drive in. No. I still know that it is a bad idea. And there are signs everywhere where you park. If you're a tourist and you're going to, let's say, park at the Golden Gate Bridge, signs everywhere saying, hey, your car's probably going to get broken into. Here's a picture of someone's window smashed out. Be careful. Don't put electronics right there on the seat. Put them away, hide them, or take them with you. All I'm saying is that the way Jon Stewart was busting me up, because I watched a little bit of his talking about what people are saying about him, and then Tucker Carlson and his way, he's just a Russia lover now. Oh, look here, he said, you can get a shopping cart, and you put your money in, and you get the shopping cart, and when you are done, you bring it back, and you get your money back. They do the same thing, Tucker, in Germany. That is not unusual. And there might even be places in the U.S. that does it. His whole point was shopping carts here in the U.S., they get taken from the parking lots and get used by people that are unhoused. And yes, you do see a lot of that in the Bay Area. And when I am on mission, I see shopping carts everywhere. Although there was this one place, someone had basically made a house out of an old ATM booth they had for this bank. Used to be a Bank of America, and then Bank of America left, and now it's vacant. And there was an ATM, and they had the little roof come out, little enclosure, so when you went in and it was raining, you could get your money out and not get rained on. Well, somebody took that little area that is now an abandoned ATM kiosk area, and they were living there. And they were there for quite a while, but they're gone now. So I don't know. There is, though, a place I pass by every day in Fremont, and someone has several shopping carts, and they've created a tarp over the shopping carts, and they've put a bunch of stuff under the tarp, and they are living there, and they've been living there, and it's right off the sidewalk in some bushes. And they have been living there, I would say, since before I met my lovely lady friend. So we've been together almost 6 years, yes. I'd say 7 years that's been there. So, why Fremont is dragging their heels? I don't know if the mayor lives in that little tarp house, but it's been there a long time. I don't know why Fremont doesn't do anything about it. It's right next to Kaiser. Maybe the Kaiser Permanente people said, no, just leave him alone. That's Joe. We like Joe. Don't evict him. Let him stay there. He doesn't bug anybody. I don't know. But I do know there's someone else here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. How's it right now? Oh, boy.
Oh, let me try it right now. Let's see. That is amazing. What's in that?
I put some Russian borscht in it. Oh,
Russian borscht root beer. Yum. That's probably got a lot of vitamins and minerals. Oh, and we got a juicer. I got a juicer for my lovely lady friend. I got her that and an Instapot. The Instapot is amazing. The juicer is a little bit, well, yeah, it's a bit messy. You put in, let's say you throw, now my lovely lady friend was trying to be really careful, like she would peel the orange, she'd take out all the seeds. I'd say just throw the whole thing in It's a juicer. You want all that stuff in there. Oh, no, I want to be careful. I go, I don't know. What's the point then? Aren't juicers supposed to be an amazing device that you can throw a whole carrot in, right? Throw bananas and stuff. No, you're not supposed to put bananas in there. They're too fibrous. I threw in an apple. I didn't take the skin off. And it makes a huge mess. It's like a bunch of pulp. And some of the stuff gets leaking everywhere. I don't know. We're thinking about sending it back. But maybe you've had a better experience with the juicer. I am not fully convinced. I'd rather just make a smoothie. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for Let's Go Back with Matthews.
Let's go back with Matthews.
Cassette copy.
My name is Mike Matthews, and I've been doing radio for a long time. Are we at 40 years yet? Over 35. No, wait. I think yes, definitely over 35. Okay, so here's a little bit of this radio station I worked at, and this is in the late 80s. So I am in my 20s. And it's funny because I was hanging out with my cousin when we were in San Francisco, her and her boyfriend, and they're both in their early 30s. And they're marveling at, oh, I'm so tired. I'm in my early 30s. I feel so tired. I'm amazed what I used to be able to do 10 years ago when I was still a teenager, when I was just turning 20. And I go, yeah, get ready for when you are looking back to your 20s, when you're in your 50s. Then that seems like it was a whole other planet ago, whole other universe. So here's a little bit of when I worked at a radio station in Santa Barbara that was called Y97. It does not exist anymore. I don't know what 97.5 is these days, but you can hear a little bit of the music that was oh so popular from that era. And I'm super young. I'm just a wee little lad. And I still had hair. And it was curly, but everybody had mullets. So I tried to make my curly hair into a mullet. And it came out looking kind of like what Chris Cameron had when he did the TV show Growing Pains.
HDY Y97, hello. My name is Mike Matthews. I'm the Y97 substitute DJ, and it's Friday night. What are you doing?
Nothing.
You're doing nothing? Well, what do you mean you're doing nothing? It's Friday night, for gosh sakes. Who are you?
I'm Hillary and Laura.
Hillary and Laura. So the both of you are there right now?
Yeah.
Hillary and Laura, what are you doing right now? You're doing nothing?
What are we doing right now? Partying.
We're partying on Y97 right now. Berlin, no more words. Come on. Y97!
Hillary is now the president of the United States. Yes, that was a young Hillary Clinton that called me. No. Hillary is much older than me. It's not much older, but yes, that sounded like a very young Hillary, and I wonder what became of young Hillary. Where is she now? Because she must be, in her 40s at least. Yes, so people would call up the radio station and request songs. Can you play Paula Abdul? Berlin.
KHDY Y97, Taylor Dane, I'll always love you, yes. Hello, I'm Mike Matthews. I am the substitute DJ for Y97. How you doing? What I want you to do is welcome in the weekend for me. I want you to just call 965-9797. When I pick up the line, just say, hello, weekend, okay? It's going to be crazy, but we got to do it. It's fun. Here's Squeeze and the Hourglass on Y97.
Hello, weekend.
Just like that, it's fun. Y97.
Hello, weekend.
Hello, KHDY Y97. Hello, I'm Mike Matthews, the Y97 substitute DJ.
Oh, by the way, that was a little bit of Luther Vandross and Stop to Love. I loved that song. Luther Vandross, the late great Luther Vandross. Hello, weekend.
Okay, because Dynamite Darren Stone is off about Santa Barbara, socializing, having a great time. I'll be telling you about that in just a second, but please, I have someone on my line. Go ahead, say it.
Hello, weekend on Y97.
Wow. Hey, this is Mike Matthews, and let me tell you about this. Collage presents, along with Y97, Dance with the Y97 DJ Night. I mean, that's tonight. Tonight at 9 p.m. at Collage. All those good-looking women, like that one that was just on the phone, get a chance to teach us awful DJs how to dance, because we don't know. I mean, all we do is know how to sing. No, we don't even know how to do that. And that'll be going on tonight. And we'll have T-shirts to give away, cassettes and other stuff. This is all going on tonight at Collage tonight at 9 p.m. Doors open at 8 p.m. Something to do from Y97. Coming back with Rod Stewart, My Heart Can't Tell You No. Y97.
Hey, it's me again. Listen, do you remember what this bell means?
It was a reggae song. My Heart Can't Tell You No. Rod Stewart, who's out with a swing album now. That, and we heard Squeeze a little bit earlier, the keyboard player, Jules Holland, he is working with Rod Stewart now, and he made this album with Rod Stewart, a swing album with swing music on there.
Oh my gosh!
The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth. But you know what? They come back up and people start playing them, and it's like, oh, where'd that come from?
Mike's scavenger hunt.
Maybe. Memories.
It's pretty interesting.
So that's what we were doing back on the radio back then. Then, about 10 to 12 years later, I was working at a country station. Hey, if Beyonce can go country, Mike Matthews went country too, and I was doing country radio. I went by the name Matt Michaels. I was working in Ventura County, and here is a little bit from 20... Oh,
see you at the chili cook-off.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
They had no hole in the center of the record, so a lot of
you'd have to provide it yourself.
Up to the plate and save.
2003 is when this was. Interesting.
Okay, cafe question. How often do you forget to lock your house, Diana?
Never.
Never forget that.
Oh, hell no.
Really?
Absolutely not.
You would never, would you leave the house and maybe come back to it when you're just suspicious that you might have unlocked it, left it unlocked?
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. That's just interesting, isn't it?
No, that's like common knowledge.
The Disgruntled Fiddle Player is playing something for us right now. Hey, Tanya and Alex are listening to him, too.
Yeah, it's really great what I'm playing. I'm playing a song about when you come back to the clock.
Okay.
And you can't find it because you're... What?
I'm what? No.
I wrote a song for Diana and Shania. It's called Denia. Ain't a river in Egypt.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to the
That was, I don't know if the Collage Club of Santa Barbara still existed at that point.
7 KHY, this is Matt Michaels. Who's this?
Mike.
How often do you forget to lock your house, Mike?
In my neighborhood, I don't have.
It's that nice a neighborhood.
It is.
Wow.
But I can't play the country too loud because then the cops get called.
Oh.
So there's a downfall.
There's pluses and minuses.
Exactly.
We're walking out onto the patio of the KA Santa Fe Cafe. Matt, I'll never lock my door. I'll let everyone come in. So I've heard. A lot of people walk into his place.
Uh-huh.
And they... Mike, have you ever walked into someone's place that was just left unlocked, but you knew you weren't supposed to walk in there?
I believe I have. Unfortunately.
Busted.
Did you see something you didn't want to?
I'm afraid I did.
Uh-oh.
This is getting more and more interesting. And I don't think the television is on, so I must not be watching Springer.
All right, a little bit of that. People like to call back then, but people don't call so much now. That's okay. But you might want to call in for this. It's the segment, the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. We are going to play you 3 songs that are brand new that were sent to me to my Gmail, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And they are all interesting things. Mike is trying to find the first one. Here it is. The Jesus and Mary Chain. They were huge back in the 80s. They have a new song called Girl 71, and it is coming out this year. A new chapter in the history of one of the most influential bands around is firmly underway, and here is a little bit of the song that is called Girl 71. Here we go. A little bit of I can only play that much, otherwise I get dinged by YouTube, but that's the Jesus and Mary Chain song. Number 2, with the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud, is going to be by the Narcotics. That's spelled with an X. Narcotr, or is it, maybe it's Narcotics, but they have a debut full-length album called Dying, and they have a single off of it called The Lovers. It explores the unification of man with the divine. It is the festival of the heart that occurs when we remain in conscious contact with our inner mothers and fathers. Okay, here is a little bit of that song by the Narcotics called The Lovers. Right, The Lovers by the Narcotics. And then the last song that you can vote on with the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud is by Sea Urchin. Urchin. This is Urchin. So Urchin, they have announced their first release called Destroy. Phil Spector meets Meatloaf in Matt Strickland's tribute to 50s teen death songs. Sea Urchin announces its debut album, created straight from leader Matt Strickland's painful, awful breakup, and co-produced by Katie Von Schleicher. Let's hear a little bit of the song that is called I Beefed It on My Motorbike. Little saxophone solo there. Nice. All right, so that is Sea Urchin. So which one did you like better? Did you like the Jesus and Mary Chain? Did you like the Narcotics? Or did you like Sea Urchin? Give me a call. That bird is back. Wow. Hi, bird. Dang. I think he liked all of them. But here's the number to call me at.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Will ya shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for all.
And if you would like to call me about anything else, or email me, or comment below, or anywhere else you want to find me, all those places can be found here with the words that A-Frame is about to say. Take it away, A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
And that was episode 2770, 2770. Lots of sevens. It's Mike Matthews. And if you would like me to keep doing Mike's Daily Podcast, please drop me a line. You can go to my website. You can go and comment on any of the social media that I'm on or any of the podcasting platforms that I'm on. Yes, I'm even on that dang YouTube, on Spotify, all over the place. So let me know, and also email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. But most of all, check out my website, mikesdailypodcast.com, because I pay for it. Yes, mikesdailypodcast.com.